Okay, this is our front portico area, and we're missing our front porch light right there. And then we're coming around here, and I just want to call this to everybody's attention. I have just gotten here. I did not put a ladder up here. I did not damage that first course of shingles right there. I did not do that. Moving on along, we'll see around our foundation perimeter, we have a parge coat. It's um, an aesthetic application because they use foam boards to put them up here, and it covers the post-tension cable ends. It covers the um, telegraphing from when they installed um, they had the form boards around here when they placed the concrete, and then they took the form boards off. But the interesting thing about a parge coat is that it has different physical properties than the concrete that makes up the foundation in your porches and stuff. And the brick is also different. And brick, this is the only part of your house that actually grows. You'll never be able to measure it, but it does expand minutely. It's the only part that does. The foundation, okay, within 10 days you get 90% strength. And then the rest of the 10 happens over the course of 60 years. So your foundation is constantly shrinking. And also it shrinks and expands, the brick shrinks and expands, and the parge coat all shrink and expand because of the weather's influence on them, because of the temperature, radiant heat from the sun, cloudiness, all these different things, coolness, dampness, all these physical cause these things to, at different rates. So you're going to develop some cracks in your parge coat. And it's aesthetic, remember that. Just because your cake frosting is cracked doesn't mean your cake is cracked. And just because your cake frosting isn't cracked doesn't mean that your foundation isn't cracked. Your foundation should be cracked, and it's not cracked. It could be cracked and not cracked. Take your pick, however you want to do it. But this creates voids. This creates voids between the parge coat and the foundation. And those voids are conducive to wood-destroying insects, termites I'm talking about specifically. So they're blind animals. They don't know, they've evolved. They've been around millions of years before we ever showed up. They'll be around millions of years after we're long gone. But they know, they have learned, and they will come between the parge coat. Of course, they'll come up the plumbing. You got a sink inside of there, you got a commode, a shower. They'll come up the plumbing too. So it's conducive by design. I get that. And then, where do termites live? I say they come up, they come up, they come up. Where do the termites live? In the ground. Oh. What do they eat? Dead wood. Oh. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to my house. That's called a clue. That's called a clue. I get it. People like the wood mulch. My wife's got some wood mulch around our house. I get it. I understand that. But about 6 or 7 times a year, just coming up, just doing Hail Marys, I'm not going to find, this is new construction. I'm not going to find them. But I'll just come drag my toe around a couple places, and I find them. So just, if I find out later that you had termites in your wood mulch next to your house, I told you so. I told you so. Now over here, these are called expansion joints. Sometimes we got control joints, sometimes we got expansion joints. Everybody likes to argue about the difference between control and expansion joints, but everybody agrees that these are expansion joints. And it's perfectly fine to put these little wooden strips in our expansion joints. It adds support to the edges of the concrete, keeps the moon satellite, in line with the house satellite, so our tides don't get all out of whack. But they do sell, asphalt rope. They do have other plastics that they can put in there. It costs a little more, but this will rot out after a while. You don't just peel it out. Once it starts rotting, if this is even treated in the first place, once it starts rotting, it's conducive to wood-destroying insects. Over here, we got a little hole right there. Look at that. Okay, that's probably not so good. We need to seal that up. Coming on along, we already got out of the broken shingle part. On the edge of the garage floor, we've got a lot of cracking and chipping on the edges here, and there's ways to fix this. All right. I'm not writing a prescription. I'm a nurse. I'm not a doctor. But This will all be primed with a bonding agent, and then they have a special concrete just for these types of applications. Probably a cement. It probably won't have any aggregate in it. They'll come in, they can trim all this up. And let's kind of walk through here and see if I can get a good example. I might have to wait to the back patio. Oh no, here we are. Okay, the builder is going to tell you that concrete does two things. It gets hard and it cracks. But it's true. It's true. You should expect some small cracks. You shouldn't expect a lot of cracks, and you shouldn't expect big cracks. When I'm analyzing, and you know what, maybe you want to monitor this. You're not going to get crack envy from your neighbors. They're not going to come over, oh, you've got some of those typical cracks. We don't have cracks like that. I wish we had cracks like that. You're not going to hear that. All right? But if the crack is wider at the perimeter than in the middle, usually, unless you got heaving, then if it's wider, that's a bad thing, but it's not. It's narrower. That's a good thing. If the crack is wider than a credit card, the edge of a credit card, then that's something we want to pay attention to that. And these are obviously not wider than the edge of a credit card. And then the piece of resistance is it in plane? And it's in plane. We're not jabbing or cracking or anything. So these are what I deem, my professional opinion is that these are typical cracks. I mean, some people it just drives them nuts, but if you want a concrete garage floor, this is what you're going to have. If you want a concrete patio, this is what you're going to have. If you pull up the carpet in your house, that's what you're going to have.
Oh. I want to seal.
Yeah. This should be sealed all over here.
Seal. Right
sealed there too. Yeah. We can seal some bricks
on the front. Up here.
Yeah.
They need to chip up that mortar.
They sure do.
That mortar line right there is not right.
Right.
With it sticking out, and
it's kind of just like
they need to do a little better job.
That must have been towards the end of the day. They were probably working their way out the door.
They need to do a little better job of what that looks like right there.
They weren't paid to do bad work.
Yeah.
They were paid to do good work.
And that needs to come up all the little concrete stuff.
Yeah. So we're coming along here. And that puts us over on the west side of the home. Oh, what's that? That's a whiskey stick? A whiskey stick? Yeah, it's a whiskey stick. Okay. Whiskey stick. That's a 6 foot level. Level. That's not grading and drainage. That is not grading and drainage. Okay, what the builder would say is if this doesn't dry within 48 hours, we consider that a problem. Well, the problem with that is it's not drainage. We've had a little bit of rain, thank goodness. But I've been here for a while too. This is the middle of the afternoon. The water just coming on out of there. Look at that. That's not draining. That's swampage. He's relying on evaporation. And they'll say, well, I tell you what, give it 48 hours. Well, you know what? If it takes 48 hours, that's not drainage. That's swampage. Then they'll say, well, let's ride with this. Let's give it some time. Because this is new. Let's give it some time. And they're banking on you forgetting about it. They're banking on you going in your beautiful front door, walking through your beautiful kitchen, going and enjoying your beautiful beverage on your beautiful patio, and not being over here next to the electric receptacles and the gas meter and the condensing unit. That's what they're counting on you forgetting about it. And then if you really nail them to the floor, if you really get there, I know this builder won't do it. He's not like that. He doesn't do any of those things I just said. And he surely won't tell you this. He surely won't say, well, our warranty company doesn't have a problem with it. Oh, really? Your warranty company doesn't have a problem with it? Who owns your warranty company? ABC. ABC? Well, don't ABC own you? Oh, but they're different. They're completely different. Different departments. They're hard on us. One hand doesn't wash the other. That's what they'll tell you. And in 5 years, when you're selling the house, I'm going to come back, and it's going to be all wet over here and tracks where the lawnmower's been going through it. And your new buyers are going to come in, and the builder's going to be long gone. And everybody's when you're looking at each other, looking all hurt and everything. Oh, what's about the drainage and stuff? I see it all the time. I promise you, this will happen. If you don't take care of this, take care of it now, or take care of it later when you're selling the house. That's your choice. That's your choice. It's an easy choice, mate. We got high soil over here by the gas meter. Okay, we should be seeing the perimeter, more perimeter than this too, by the way. You should be seeing perimeter like that. Okay, so we got high soil on the west side of the garage around the gas meter. Coming on along, we got some trees that are growing over here. They're going to grow up. See, the whole idea about these guys is they grow up and they hide the condensing unit. They grow up and they hide the condensing unit. Well, how do they grow? Well, they grow up to here. All right, they're going to grow out. They're going to grow. No, that's going to be a problem. You're going to need to remember to come back and cut these back on this side, on the back side, so that you get good ventilation around your condensing unit. We do not have rain gutters. We got a diverter right here for the condensing unit. That's a good thing. We got a diverter, but we do not have rain gutters. Rain gutters are not required by code. I hear that. That's what I hear. No, code doesn't specifically say rain gutters. The code says that the water flow off of the roof should be managed so that it's diverted into a culvert or a drainage system. That's secret code for rain gutters. And then, sell this house in 5 years, like I said, the Dallas Housing Authority says every house should have rain gutters. I might not agree with that statement, but they didn't pay me to write the Dallas Housing Authority requirements. It's not what I didn't get paid for that. Coming along here, here's a little clean out. Not a main clean out like we have in the front flower bed. Here's a little clean out. You think water can get in there? I do. I think water will jump right off in there. That's a little kitchen clean out right there. So, I hope I remember to take a picture of that. I'm going to move it on along. Where are you? Oh, there you are, hiding behind. You think water can get in there? I do. I think a lot of stuff can get in there. You can have a raccoon nest in there. And over here, on the faucet, right back up in there. You think water can get in there? I don't know. Let's do our water test. Woo-wee, yeah, I think water can get in there. I sure do. Moving on along. Look at our vertical trim board here. See the way it's pulling away from the wall right there? You think water can get in there? I do. I think water can jump right off in there. That's what I think. And then, over here on the back wall, we've got high soil. That's the primary bedroom. This is the breakfast area, dining area, okay? We got high soil. This is about 8 inches below the siding. We don't have that. And then coming up here, I know that these windows are tight up underneath the soffit. I get that. But I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. You should have Z-bar flashing over the horizontal casement board. You should have Z-bar flashing over the top edge of the, and other pieces Z-bar flashing over the top edge of the fenestrations themselves. Z-bar flashing comes down behind the siding, comes out over that board, comes out over the window, and then comes down so that any moisture that gets trapped up in your wall, when it comes out, it doesn't stay there. It gets away from there. We don't have wood rot there. We're trying to stop that. Okay? We're missing our luminary over here. We do not have the Z-bar flashing. And then look at that butt joint coming up right there. That's kind of interesting. That gives us something to talk about. We got some butt joints. Haven't seen any butt joints. Now we got some butt joints. Y'all staggered? Staggered? Okay. Not staggered very well, but we're staggered. High soil. When we come over here, and what we learned is we do not have any flashing tape behind the butt joints. And I can't tell if the butt ends have been sealed or not. But I do know that we don't have flashing tape behind the butt ends on the siding. Z-bar flashing, Z-bar flashing. How's this side look? Well, you know what? I don't know if better is the right word, but it looks a little better. Okay, casement board right there. Moving on along. The grading and drainage. Looks like evaporation to me. Doesn't look like grading and drainage. It's a little worse on the other side. Moving on along, moving on along. Okay, this window does not require Z-bar flashing because it's got a wooden header. Okay, it's not supporting any brick. So I take that back. You should have Z-bar flashing right there. Doesn't require a weep hole because you're not supporting any brick. But the flashing should be there. Okay, this is the lawn sprinkler check valve. I didn't do this on the water section. These are isolation valves. There you go. I just turned off the lawn sprinkler system. Now, these isolation valves are positioned. No, they're not. We do not have a main water shutoff valve. If you needed to replace this, you'd have to turn off all the water to the house. We do not have a main water shutoff valve. We need a main water shutoff valve for our vacuum breaker. 50 psi. That's where I got the picture. There we go. Back where we